Well, I know one of the things we'll be doing in this vlog is cleaning up this desk. Embarrassing. Welcome back to my channel. It has been a while. It's been a while, and that's because life happens. And I guess we'll just get straight into a big announcement, some news that we have not shared with anyone, which is that I am pregnant. I'm 13 weeks pregnant, so I actually found out I was pregnant the week we were getting married. So that was a fun surprise. And yeah, obviously my videos kind of dropped off last year because I had all the pregnancy symptoms. Nausea, morning sickness, lethargy, fatigue, just extreme laziness, no motivation, really wanting to sleep a lot. So yeah, but I'm through the first trimester and here I am in the second trimester, and I feel like I have my energy back and my motivation is back, and so I'm feeling really good. And we're back on YouTube. Here we are once again. I'm sure some people are going to ask if we know yet whether we're having a boy or a girl, and usually it's at the 20-week mark. Like I said, I'm 13 weeks at the time of filming this, so usually it's at the 20-week mark that you can find out. But since I am a tad bit older and I will be 35 during this pregnancy, which I'm pretty sure the term for it, which I hate, like loathe, is geriatric pregnancy. I got to do a bunch of fun tests that they don't normally do on, like blood work, blood tests, things like that, that they don't normally do on younger patients. We actually get to find out like next week sometime, I believe. Yeah, next week, because I had my appointment the first week of January, so then they said it takes about 2 weeks to get the results and everything, but we're gonna be able to know really early and know next week whether we are having a boy or a girl. So it's been a busy it's been a busy time. So not only getting married, but then finding out that we're pregnant and growing the family, which the family is already quite large. So we've had to figure out what we're gonna do kind of space-wise. So we moved the kiddos upstairs, so they're kind of in their big kid room. And then their old room is going to become the nursery because that's the only other bedroom downstairs. So we've already started, we picked out the paint colors and we painted it. And of course I had like one of those crazy masks. I think I took some footage of it, or I have like an image of me with this like insane mask with the cartridges. So yeah, my husband and I, we painted that room and painted inside the closet. We're gonna take the doors off of it, and we're also putting down new flooring. So that's kind of a big like home project that we've got going on. So I'm sure in some of the vlog footage, I will be sharing that with you as well. So I'm trying to think just like what else has been, what else? I mean, that's kind of like a huge milestone, huge life moment, right? And it's pretty crazy that in numerology, with last year being a universal 6 year, which is all about love and harmony and relationships and like the masculine and the feminine coming together, it's just so hilarious to me and not a coincidence at all that I would reunite with my soulmate that year during a 6 year, get married, which is also a very lucky year. A 6 year is a very lucky year to get married, and then also find out that we're pregnant. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And so this year is Universal 7 year, which I did record a podcast episode on that. So if you want to know what's in store for this year, what to expect, I'll leave that link in the description box below for you. I would love for you to check that out and listen to it. What else? Oh yes, the due date is in July. So current due date is July 16th. So if baby comes on time, baby will be a Cancer sun. And if baby comes a little bit late, then baby will be a Leo. And if it's way early, like way early, then obviously we would be in Gemini territory. So, but I just have a feeling that this is going to be a Cancer baby, because that just makes a lot of sense. Although a Leo baby would make sense too, just based on the placements, because you know I've done everyone's charts in this house. Like, I know where we're all at, and I'm like, okay, what makes sense, what fits in. But honestly, I'm excited. I'm excited either way, anyway, all the ways. I'm excited. So that is my big news. And with that due date, the reason why I mentioned that was obviously to let you know when the baby will be here, but also because I clearly have a lot of things that I want to do in between that time frame, because once the baby is here, that's going to be, you know, my primary focus, obviously. So I decided I had like some goals, some writing goals, publishing goals that I want to do between now and then. Hopefully everything, like my energy, will stay like this. I'm going to try to use as much of the second trimester to do everything I want to do and get it all done, because I've also heard the third trimester can just be, you just feel kind of like huge, and just it's harder to move around and maneuver, and you're out of breath a lot more and things take a lot longer. So yeah, gonna use the second trimester to its optimal. That's the other thing, pregnancy brain is real. I'm already out of breath, first of all, talking. Second of all, words are very hard for me to come by nowadays. But I'm gonna use the second trimester. So to my full capacity, to its full capacity. So one of the big goals that I want to do is I want to have another cosmic manifestation launch, which I was going to do in the fall, but obviously since the baby will be the baby will be here in the summer, a fall launch is just not something that's going to happen. So I realized, what a perfect way to start off the new year, with a cosmic manifestation launch. It's the beginning of a brand new year, although I will say the actual beginning of the new year is the first year, or the first sign of the zodiac, which is Aries, and that's not until March timeframe. But this is the perfect time to start getting into like your manifesting headspace and to learn how your reality is actually created, which is exactly what this program is all about. So Cosmic Manifestation will be open from today, January 11th through January 30th. So January 11th to January 30th, you can sign up for the Cosmic Manifestation program, and it is a 13-week program. So we are going through February 1st through April 30th. So it's just that perfect time of the year to just, I don't know, get your mindset right and to start the year off right. And come April 30th, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm heading into the summer and I've got this, and I've got this for the rest of the year. And so life is gonna be peachy keen, especially after you listen to my podcast episode on it being a universal 7 year. This is like this is the prime year to take some kind of spiritual program, spiritual course, just to like, again, get your mind right for all of that. And again, I'll leave that link to that podcast episode in the description box below. But yeah, I would love to have you in the Cosmic Manifestation program. So I hope that you will consider signing up, check out the website and all of that. I will be running a free workshop at the end of this month as well, just like I did last year for the first launch. So stay tuned for that, because I'm sure in a future video, I will give you more information on the workshop dates and how to sign up and all of that. So I feel like I have been talking so much because so much has happened, and there's a lot to update you guys on. So that's where we're at right now. That's what's going on. And I think what we're gonna do is, because I cannot sit in here any longer with how this is looking. So that's the first thing that we're gonna tackle, is the desk situation. We're gonna get this all tidied up. so that kind of turned into a little bit of a reset routine for the new year. That's not everything that I do, but that's everything that I was able to knock out today. Because again, I only have so much energy. So the big thing that I'm still working on right now is just kind of planning out what my weeks are going to look like, especially during the second trimester, just kind of with the goals I want to achieve and the cosmic manifestation launch, like the prep for all of that, what that looks like, content schedule in terms of YouTube or podcasting, things like that, as well as the book projects that I am working on. So I'm just kind of getting all of that configured and then put into my Google Calendar. Something that I've implemented now that my energy is back is just getting back into habits and tracking habits. So I've been doing that on the habit tracker app, which I just showed you, I think in step 6 in that B-roll. Can't remember which step it was, but I've been loving that app so far. It's free, and I just love how you can color coordinate things. You can choose your frequency for each habit each week or each day, and it's really satisfying to take my little stylus on my iPad and go like this and just like mark things off, and it makes this pretty colorful like block for each one as I mark it off. And then it also gives you the ability to look at a calendar and see how well you've been keeping up with your habits. So that way you can see which ones maybe you really do every day and truly, you know, are a habit, and then the ones that maybe you can try to stack or do something with that habit to actually make it a legit habit that you do every single day. But I've been loving that app, not sponsored or anything, just highly recommend it. And yeah, that's my little planning spiel and my little New Year reset routine. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I did, but really a lot of it was just, of course, all the cleaning too, right? Just making sure that the floors were vacuumed and mopped and all the surfaces were dusted, and any little tree decoration, ornaments, sparkles, whatever were just off the floor, and anything that fell off from the garland, just making sure that wasn't on the floor for the kids to get to or for the animals to accidentally eat. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little New Year reset routine. Ready? Positives, go.
Really good engine, really smooth transmission, nice interior, although the color is to be desired.
Yeah, it's like yellow.
Lots of features, easy in and out from the second row to the third row.
Negatives. Small trunk space.
Very small trunk space.
But the seats going like this is a good thing in the back.
Yeah,
like,
third row is manual though. Like you have to hold the buttons, you got to pull the thing back.
But at least that part of it's electric.
Not as smooth of a ride for such an expensive SUV.
It's very bumpy. It feels heavy, like clunky.
Yeah,
it's a clunky vehicle. So what would you rate this one out of 10?
Out of 10?
For the price, because the price is between 80 and 100,000.
Like a 6.
Okay, I would probably give it like a 4 or 5, so.
Yeah, like a 6.
I'm a tough critic though. Okay, so we're back in the Lexus LX 570. And we realized, actually we didn't realize, we didn't realize it, but it has different modes. So we think it was on normal, which is why it was so bumpy. Or sport. And so they told us to do comfort mode. So now we're driving in comfort mode, and we're gonna see if that makes a difference in the smoothness and the bumpiness.
Does it feel smoother? It feels a little smoother.
Like a little bit, but not very much. But I really can't tell if it's the road.
It doesn't feel as bumpy as what it did.
As the camera goes like this. Okay, so we're thinking this one's a no.
Yeah, I still don't think it's worth it.
Nope. We just test driving the GLS 450, and our thoughts are, I really like it. I'm a Mercedes brat.
Drove really smooth.
Super smooth, not clunky, handles really well.
Yeah, I like the interaction for the infotainment system. It's very intuitive. I like the dash. It's really cool.
The dash is really nice. And it also has these pretty colors, like a light, and it lights up and you can change the color inside the car.
I just don't like the rear seat entry. The second seat is a little difficult to get in because it doesn't fold up to get into the third row.
But I like it, but I guess it's not practical for how many
it's not practical for
in the fam.
But if we have a bench seat in the back, it might be different. So we'll have to find one with a bench seat to try. But the third row, I do like that it's automatic. You push the button and it goes down.
Yes.
But no, overall, this one is really good.
This one's what would you rate it out of 10?
Out of 10?
Look, I'd give it an 8 to 9.
I would say an 8.
8 to 9. It's really good.
8.
Okay, well, I'm more about a 9, but that's because I love everything about it, and I'm not as concerned about that. I think this thing might come up. We're gonna research that more. I realized that we did not give our input as to what we thought about the BMW X7, and that's because when we were at that dealership, we were basically there 30 minutes before they closed because we had gone to a different dealership before that, and the car that we were going to test drive sold like 5 minutes before we got there. So then we drove to another dealership and we were able to drive a 2020 BMW X7. So I realized we didn't give our thoughts on that one, so I think I can probably summarize because it was just this past weekend. Thoughts on the BMW X7: so much fun to drive. So much fun to drive. I've never driven a BMW before, and I loved it. My husband had a BMW X5 in the past, and he loved that car. So we both really enjoyed driving the X7. It also, the one we drove had captain seats, but I remember the trunk space was pretty small. So similar to the Lexus, so the Mercedes has had the most trunk space, which is obviously very important because of like the stroller and the kids and just all the stuff that we bring with us when we go out, right? So the trunk space was a little small in the X7, but the seats automatically went forward with like a touch of a button. So similar to the Mercedes, so that part was really nice. I will say with those two captain seats in that second row, the middle walkway was so narrow, like even narrower than in the Mercedes. And I think that's a GLS 450. I think I said it. I can't remember. I can't remember the exact number of the Mercedes. But with those captain seats in the Mercedes, there was a wider walkway, at least to get back to the third row. Whereas in the X7, you literally I couldn't even fit my leg through there. So bench seats are definitely going to be the way to go. The X7 had a lot of really cool features. It also had the really pretty light, or I guess I should say lights inside the car, kind of like that aesthetic lighting. It sets the vibe, sets the mood. So I liked that. The infotainment system was not as user-friendly as the Mercedes. So we're just not even we're not even comparing anything to the Lexus because that was so low for both of us. So we're talking about between the X7, BMW X7, and the Mercedes GLS 450. Both the cameras, like the backup cameras and the front cameras of both vehicles, were crystal clear, like wonderful, awesome, very crisp, very sharp. What else about the X7? It just had a lot of features, like on the back of the driver's and the passenger seat, there were like these little areas where you could like hook up like an iPad. I'm pretty sure it was equipped with Wi-Fi, and it had these automatic sunshades that you could just like press the button and they'd roll up in the back, which I thought was like, everything in that car was automatic. It was very cool. There was hardly anything that was manual. As far as convenience and ease, and also just enjoyment, whether you are riding as a passenger in the vehicle or driving the vehicle, it was a very smooth ride, and it was also very fun to drive. Really the only con there is the trunk space was just a bit smaller than the Mercedes. So we talked about it, and right now we're leaning a bit more towards the Mercedes just because it does have that bigger trunk space. But also when we have like an infant in the car and the smaller kids in the car, as fun as the BMW X7 is to drive, we're not going to be driving that car really like for fun. Like, we're not going to be zipping around on the highway or anything like that. It's a family vehicle, right? So not saying that the BMW X7 isn't a family vehicle, it most certainly is, but just thinking about like its practical use and like its functional use, the Mercedes just makes a little bit more sense as the family vehicle. But we still have, I'm already out of breath talking. We still have 2 more vehicles that we want to drive, to test drive. So we want to drive a Lincoln Navigator and a Cadillac Escalade. And so I think that might be something we do this weekend, and that footage will come in a part 2 of the vlog, and then eventually I guess we'll tell you guys what we ended up getting. That is going to conclude today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and click that thumbs up button as well as that subscribe button. And don't forget to check out the description box below for information on my podcast, the Cosmic Manifestation Program, and anything else that I mentioned in this video, because honestly, again, pregnancy brain, I don't remember. So again, all the links will be in the description box below, but thanks so much for coming along with me today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.